I think this is visible to everybody.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we will start discussing about the source free RL circuit. So previous day I already discussed with you that what do I mean by a free response and what do I mean by a forced response. So free response is that when you are not having any external excitation, that is no external current source or voltage source. Okay, now when I am talking about a source free RL circuit, so our main aim will be to determine the circuit response with respect to current. Our main aim will be to see the current response of the circuit with respect to time. Okay, now how do I write the expression of voltage that is developed across a current, across the inductor? How do we write the expression? We write the expression as Vt is equal to L di by dt. This is how we write. This is the expression of voltage across the inductor. VL is equal to L multiplied by di into dt. Right? So that is, we are assuming that the current across the inductor is changing with respect to time. The current across the inductor is changing with respect to time. This is what we are, this is what we know. So what is an inductor doing? An inductor stores energy in a magnetic circuit or in presence of a magnetic field. An inductor stores energy in presence of a magnetic field, right? So this magnetic field or the magnetic effect, this is entirely dependent upon the current, right? So that is why we say that the current in the inductor will change with respect to time. So as your current across the inductor is changing, as the current across the inductor is changing, so will be the voltage developed across the inductor. So what we get, that is VL is equal to L multiplied by di by dt. Okay, so this is your voltage across the inductor. And what is the voltage developed across the resistance? That is I into R. So we are taking a first order circuit. So when I am talking about a first order circuit, I am discussing about a circuit which is consisting of only one storing element. Only one storing element. Okay. So let us say at the initial condition, that is when you are switching on the circuit, when you are pressing the switch. So at that instant, what we take, that is t is equal to 0. So at t equals to 0 plus, I discussed last day that we are talking about 3 time constants. One is t is 0 minus, t equal to 0 plus, and t equals to infinity. T equals to 0 minus is the time before you switch on the circuit. Okay. T equals to 0 plus is the time just at the instant you switch on the circuit. And t equals to infinity is the time at the, say after a long time period. That is, we are assuming that to be t equals to infinity. Okay. So we are assuming that, let us say that the initial current across the inductor at time t equals to 0 is equal to I0. Okay. The initial current we are assuming to be I0. When we had the capacitor, we assumed the initial voltage as V0, but because that was storing energy in an electrical field, when I am assuming inductor, that stores energy in a magnetic field, so that will be entirely dependent upon the current. So let us say the initial stored current B equals to I0, right? So what is the initial energy stored in the inductor? That is half into L into I0 square. This is by the formula. Is this visible? Okay. Please note it down, everybody, that this is the formula for the energy stored in the inductor. This is the formula for energy stored in the inductor, and that is equal to half multiplied by L into I0 square. So everybody please note it down. Okay. Next, what we will apply here, we are dealing with the voltages. As your current is constantly changing, as we are assuming that the current is constantly changing across the inductor with respect to time, therefore we will work with the voltage. We will work here with the voltage. So we are applying KVL for this loop. We are applying KVL for this loop. Okay, we are applying KVL for this loop. So this what does the KVL law state? The summation of the voltages inside a loop is equal to 0. So that is the voltage across the inductor plus the voltage across the resistor. This will be equal to 0. That is VL plus VR will be equal to 0. What is VL? VL is L multiplied by di by dt plus Ri, and this is equal to 0. So if we are just trying to rearrange the term and we are trying to integrate it, so this will be di by dt plus R by L into I equal to 0. So integration 0 to I0 to IT. What is I0? I0 was the current at time t equals to 0, and let's say the current at time t equals to at time t is I in brackets t, that is the current is dependent upon the time. So we are writing the current at time t equals at time t is equal to it. So integration I0 to it di by I will be equal to minus R by L integration 0 to t dt, right? So if you are writing this, that is log of I, ln I0 to it is equal to minus R by L 0 to t upon t. And if we just go through this integration, I think everybody can do this integration on your own. This will be for your practice as well, and this might come as a derivative question to you. Okay. So this is ln into it minus ln I0 will be equal to minus RT by L plus 0. And this is ln it by I0 is equal to minus RT by L. And from that we get the expression of current as I0 into E minus RT by L. I0 into E minus RT by L. Please everybody note this down. This is the current that is dependent, the current across the inductor on dependent on time, that is given by I0 E minus RT by L. Now last day, if you remember, we were talking about a general expression of charging and discharging. You remember? So when I talked about the discharging expression, I said that discharging expression has a general expression as k into e to the power minus t by tau. You remember I said the discharging expression is k into e to the power minus t by tau. If you look at the expression of the current here, look at the expression of the current k, which is a constant here, that has been replaced or that has been identified as I0, that is the initial constant current within the inductor, multiplied by e to the power minus t by tau, minus t by tau. So what should be tau? tau should be equals to L by R. If we are comparing that general expression, with this is tau is equal to L by R. Okay. See if you are having any questions till now. Please let me know. Any questions till now? This is the expression for the discharging current across the inductor, which is dependent upon I0 and the time constant, that is given by L by R. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Everybody, it's fine? Devobroto, Shubham, is this derivation fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we are talking about the graphs then. We are talking about the graphs that you have got here. See, this is the discharging graph, right? And you are plotting the discharging graph for current with respect to time. For current with respect to time. So you already know what do I mean by the time constant. The time constant is, for this inductor, is the time required to reach 36.8% of its original value. This was the same in case of the voltage as well, or in case of the capacitance. I mean that the time constant is the time required to reach 36.8% of its original value. So here the original value is I0. So this is your time constant and at this time constant you are having the current value at 0.368 I0, 0.368 I0. This is the value of current at time constant tau, which you can calculate by L by R. And as this is our discharging current, you are getting the negative slope of the curve. A negative slope of the curve. And around, say, so this portion is 5 tau. This portion is 5 tau. Okay. So at 5 tau, you know, this is even less than 0.1%. At 5 tau, the value becomes equal to 0.00678. That is even less than 0.1%. Okay. So this is how we calculate the expressions, or we calculate the expressions for the current or the discharging current with respect to time. So if you are asked to calculate the voltage across the resistor, if you are calculate to find out the voltage across the resistor with respect to time, this will be I into R, and I is dependent upon T. So this will become I0R into e to the power minus T by tau. This is the voltage across the resistor. For RC circuit, we got the voltage was equal to V0 into e to the power minus T by tau. For this RL circuit, the voltage across the resistor will be I0R into e to the power minus T by tau. So this current, that is IT, that is the current that is dependent upon time, as it is decreasing, so will the voltage developed across the each circuit element, that will go on decreasing. Similarly, you can calculate the power from this formula V into I, and you can calculate the energy absorbed as well, that is equal to half Li0 square 1 minus e to the power 2 by T by tau. Okay, this is the expression for the energy absorbed. This you do not need. You mainly focus on this current and the power dissipated part. You focus on these two equations. Okay. Now see, these derivations are important. These derivations are important. Why, I will tell you. See, yesterday we had a meeting regarding the examination reforms. Okay. So just I want to tell you something, that yesterday we had an expression for examination reform. So what was your question paper pattern last year? This was for the term 2 examination. You had to answer 7 questions, and the 7 questions were of 10 marks each, and you had parts, that is, you can answer either 1A or 1B, either 2A or 2B, 3A or 3B, like this, right? This was the question paper pattern last time.
Yes, sir.
So this time this will change. Okay, the decision has been taken, and this has been framed till now for the end semester. The term 1, we haven't fixed it up yet. So the thing is, for term 1 or for the end semester, you have to, there will be 3 sections: group A, group B, and group C. So group A will have questions of 2 marks each. Group A will have questions of 2 marks each, and group A will, you have to write 5 questions of 2 marks each from group A, any 5. So you might be given 7 or 8 questions in group A, and you have to write, say, 5 questions out of those. So group A is 5 cross 2, that is equal to 10. Group B will be your 8 questions of 5 marks each. 8 questions of 5 marks each. That is, say you will be given 12 questions to opt from, and you have to write any 8 from those 12, and each question will carry 5 marks. Okay, now for these 5 marks questions, you can have subdivisions, 2 subdivisions. So let's say we are making 2 subdivisions of 3 plus 2, or if we are making a single question of 5 marks. So if you are asked to draw any circuit, or if you are asked to give any derivations, these questions will form a part of this section. Okay, a part of this group B section. And the last section will be of 10 marks. So 10 marks means mainly you will have the numerical problems there, and you have to answer 5 questions from there, and each question will be of 10 marks each. So that there also you may have 2 parts of 5 plus 5 or 7 plus 3. That hasn't been decided yet, but the thing is that you have to answer 5 questions of 10 marks, 8 questions of 5 marks, and 5 questions of 2 marks. So these derivations are important, because if you are given this derivation of 5 marks each, so you have to do this stepwise. And I would also like you to give the graph, that is the graph that is given here for the current, that is the current decaying graph. So as it is a 5 marks question, give the derivations, and after that also show the just handwritten graph with relation to this. Okay, so this is why these derivations are important this time, because you will be given, that is, if you are asked to draw any circuit diagram, or if you are asked to derive anything, or if you are asked to analyze anything. Okay, say you are asked to analyze the steady state and transient response. So when you are drawing the curve for a forced response, okay, I will talk about the forced response. You have to individually mark which is the transient part, which is the steady state part, why we are calling this as a steady state, why we are calling this as a transient. So that you have to mark. So these questions may come up as the 5 marks question. Similarly, from the network theorems, the derivation of the conditions for maximum power transfer, that may come as a question in the 5 marks section. Okay, so am I being able to make you understand? So these derivations are therefore important this time, because that will, so you are not, so last till date you had to write only say 10 questions, but from this year you have to write 5 2 marks, 8 5 marks, and 5 10 marks. So that is almost, say, 15 sorry 13 18 questions you have to write, and the time frame will be same. This is the pattern for the 100 marks question. This will be slightly altered to make it fit for the term examinations. Okay, next one thing more, for term 1 you will be having modules 1 and 2. So module 1, that is the network theorem, the KVL, KCL, that preliminaries of circuit theory, that is entirely constituting of module 1. And module 2 is this transient parts. We have almost completed the first order circuit. We will be just doing the second order circuit and some numerical. So with that we can end module 2. So this will be your entire syllabus for term 1. But you will again get the questions in this pattern, that is in this way, these divisions in term 1 as well. Okay, so any questions till now, or else we move on to the next part? Any questions? Okay, so if you are not having any questions, you do one thing, you try to solve this part. You try to solve this problem. Everybody try to solve this problem. Calculate IT and IXT. IT is IT. What is IT? What is IT? IT is the decaying current. Decaying current of the entire circuit, or you can say IT is the current across the inductor. And you have to also calculate IXT, that is the current across the 2 ohm resistance. So everybody please do this. Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so please try to do this problem or I will discuss it. First, try to do this problem on your own. You have to apply your KVL, but remember this is a dependent source. So you have to apply, or you have to think of the application of KVL for dependent sources. Application of KVL for dependent sources. So what we did there. So please try to do this or I will explain it to you. Try to calculate the resistance or try to calculate please try or else I will discuss this. No issues.
Connected.
You have to you can see the page. You can see the page. Is that
Yes, sir.
visible?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so you have to calculate this IT and you have to calculate this IX. So once you calculate IT, you can calculate the IX. You have to calculate this IT. So this is the decaying current across the inductor, and you have to calculate the branch current, that is Ix.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so we have just discussed the source free RL circuit, that is the same, that is like the source free RC circuit. When I'm talking about the RL circuit, the you know that the inductor stores the energy in form of current, so this current will go on decreasing with respect to time. The current will decrease with respect to time. So as your current gets decreased, so will the voltage across the inductor will also gets decreased. So what we are doing when it's an RL circuit, we are applying KVL. Okay, so we are adding up, or we are summing up the voltages across the inductor and the voltage across the resistance, and the summation of the voltage will be equal to 0. The summation of the voltage will be equal to 0. So what is the voltage across the inductor? It is L di by dt, and the voltage across the resistance is IR. So if you just rearrange and integrate the terms, so you will get the current with respect to time, that is IT, will be equals to I0 multiplied by e to the power minus RT by L, and the time constant will be equal to L by R. So this is what you are getting for the source free RL circuit, the source free RL circuit. Okay, so see, I will discuss this problem with you. This might be a little problem. You first forget about, see, this process can be solved using two methods. One is by calculating the Thevenin's equivalent resistance and then applying the formula, or what you can do, we can use method 2, that is if we directly apply KVL in this circuit. If we directly apply KVL in this circuit. Okay, so you see, what is 0.5 Henry? This is the inductance. So what is the voltage developed across this inductance? This will be L into di by dt. Okay, L di by dt. So what is the voltage across this inductance? This is 0.5 di by dt. So we are writing 0.5 di by dt. And what is the voltage across the this? What is the voltage across your uh, so see, am I being clear to you? So see, this is one loop, this is one loop, right? There are two loops here.
Yes, sir.
Okay, there are two loops here. So you first write the KVL equation for this loop, then you write the KVL equation for this loop, right? So when you're writing the KVL equation for this loop, this is L di by dt. So let's say this, here the current is equal to I1. Let's say the current is equal to I1 here. Okay. So if the current is equal to I1 here, and the current here is say I2, or you can take the reverse as well. Let's say this is I1 and this is I2, as here they have taken. So here they have taken this as I1 and this as I2. Okay, first things, for any KVL loop, this is I1 and this is I2. Clear? Okay, now for this loop, so we are considering this is loop 1, this is loop 2. Okay, so this will be L di1 by dt plus the voltage across inductor plus 2 into I1 minus I2. This will be equal to 0. Am I clear?
Yes,
Is
sir.
this okay? So this is the voltage equation for the first loop. Okay, this is equal to 0. L di1 by dt plus 2 into I1 minus I2. This is equal to 0. So this is what you get for the first equation. Just rearrange this and you will get di1 by dt plus 4I1 minus 4I2 is equal to 0. Right? Okay. Next. What will be here? What will you have here for this loop? Please write the expression for this loop. The expression for this loop will be I is actually nothing but I1. I is nothing but I1. So this will become 3I1. This is becoming 3I1 because I1 is the current in this loop and I1 is flowing through this inductor. So your I will be equal to I1. Am I clear? I will be equal to I1. So this is actually becoming 3I1. What is this? 4I2. And what is this? 2 into I2 minus I1. So this expression here, this is becoming 2 in brackets I2 minus I1 okay, plus 4I2 minus 3I1. This is equal to 0. See if this is clear to you or not. Everybody first
Yes,
see.
sir.
This is for loop 2. This is for loop 1. This is for loop 2. Okay. 2 into I2 minus I1 plus 4I2 minus 3I1 will be equal to 0. So if you rearrange this expression, you are getting 6I2 minus 2I1 minus 3I1 is equal to 0. We are just equating that expression and we are getting I2 as 5 by 6 I1. I2 as 5 by 6 I1. Clear? So we are just putting this value in this expression. I2 equals to 5 by 6 I1. We are putting here in this equation and we are getting the expression as di1 by dt plus 2 by 3 I1 is equal to 0. Now you just carry out the integration of I0, IT and all this. I0 you know it to be 10 and you are getting the value as 10 e to the power minus 2 by 3 t ampere. See if this is clear. This is IT. We have just put two KVL equations. This is a parallel RL circuit. We have put the KVL equations for the two loops and then we are equating it. We are bringing that to one single equation. We are integrating that and we are getting the expression of IT. Is this okay? ঠিক আছে?
Yes.
বিম্বায়ন ঠিক আছে? বিম্বায়ন, অরিত্রিকা, কৃতিকা
Yes,
ঠিক
sir.
আছে?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is how you express the expression for current. Okay. Now you can get the voltage across the inductor as V equals to L into di by dt. Now you need to differentiate this current and you get the voltage across the inductor L di by dt. You know the value of L and you know what will be di by dt for this particular expression. You do that, you get the voltage and what will be the value of the current across this. So see, this is a parallel circuit, right? This is a parallel circuit. So the voltage across the inductor will be the voltage across this particular branch. The voltage across this inductor will be the voltage across this particular branch. So the voltage across the inductor, you have got L di by dt. So you just put that here across this branch and divide it by 2 and you will get the value of current. V by R is equal to Ix. So that is equals to Ix, that is V by 2 equals to this expression. Just you are dividing this V by 2 because this 2 ohm resistor is in parallel with the inductor. Okay, so this is about the source free RL circuit and its application. Now next we move on to which we have discussed in the lab class last day. So that will be, we will be very quick on this, will be a recap of that. That is forced response of an RC circuit. So let me tell you one thing. Here you will see it is given step response of an RC circuit. So what is a step response? So first just let me tell you what is a step response. Step response is, say initially you are having a value of 0. Okay, so let's say if your graph, if the value of the graph is like this, so initially say you are having a voltage of 5 volt, or say even if you are having a voltage of 0 volt, you quickly switch on, or you quickly increase that to 10 volt. That is, the voltage has stepped up linearly, not as a graph. Just means, that means you are having any source, which when you switch on will directly give you that particular value. That is, you are having a constant current or a constant voltage source. Say I am having a 5 volt source, right? So if you switch on the voltage, you will directly get 5 volt. If you switch off the voltage, you will directly get 0 volt, right? So step response of any source is, this means that when you are getting just two states, high state and low state, that is, you can, if you switch off you are getting 0, if you switch on you are getting 5 volt, no intermediate steps. So that particular voltage will never decrease. So when do we get that? If it's a fixed voltage source. So when I am talking about a forced response, when I am talking about a step response, I am talking about introduction of like this, a fixed source. That can be a fixed voltage source, that can be a fixed current source. So when I am talking about this, when I am talking about a fixed source, that is fixed supply, I am talking about a fixed voltage or fixed current that will quickly step up. So if it is in off condition, that will be 0. If it is in on condition, that will be 1. That is 5 volt, highest state. Just as the switch, which will give you the step response. Okay. So when I am talking about the forced response, or when I am talking about the step response, so this is when we are having a fixed voltage source. Okay. So now let's see what happens. So you have studied what happens in case of a what happens in case you have a you do not have any source, that is a source free circuit. So at those conditions the circuits were acting as a discharging circuit, that is the capacitor voltage was decreasing or the inductor current was decreasing, and that was decreasing exponentially. So now when I will talk about the step response, I am talking about introduction of a new voltage. Okay, that is a voltage source. See, this is what I was saying. This is what I mean by a unit step voltage. Okay. See, at time t, let's say this is equals to 0. So when you have switched on the circuit, this has directly toggled up to 10 volt. Let's say we are talking about a 10 volt source, and this 10 volt, at from that time instant to the time instant it is still on, it is still 10 volt till you are closing the switch, and this will directly toggle back to 5 or toggle back to 0. You do not have any intermediate step. That is, the voltage is not decreasing or increasing with respect to time. This is having just two steps, 0 or 1. So this is a step response. This is a voltage pulse. See, voltage pulse in terms of unit step. This is a voltage pulse in terms of unit step. Okay, you will have a subject in your say fourth or fifth semester, that is signals and systems. There in that you will individually learn about the step function, the ramp function, the impulse function. There you will individually learn. But for now, you just keep in your mind that a step function is having just two states, 0 and 1, that is on and off. So when you switch on, maximum voltage; when you switch off, zero voltage. When I'm talking about, just let me scroll it down to the step response part. When I'm talking about the step response of an RC circuit, I am talking about a fixed voltage source. See, this is the fixed voltage source that we have introduced into the circuit. A fixed voltage source that we have introduced into the circuit. Okay? And this is a constant DC voltage source. We will also talk a bit what happens if it's a constant AC voltage source. But for now, let's focus on a constant DC voltage source. And we are assuming that the initial voltage across the capacitor. So this capacitor will have an initial voltage. You have just introduced the voltage source. Let's say you have not switched on the voltage source. The capacitor is still having a voltage of V0, an initial voltage of V0. The capacitor is having an initial voltage of V0. So we are now applying here. What we are applying here? We are applying the KCL here. RC circuit. So we will be applying KCL here. So what is the current across the capacitor? This is C dV by dt, where V is the voltage of across the capacitor. The current across the capacitor is C dV by dt, where V is the voltage across the capacitor. Okay. So what will be the voltage across the resistance? What will be the voltage across the resistance? So the voltage drop that you are getting here, the voltage drop that you are getting here with respect to the source voltage and this capacitance voltage divided by R, that will be your current across the resistance. So the capacitance current will be C dV by dt and the resistance current will be V minus capital Vs divided by R. Small v minus capital Vs divided by R. That will be the current across the resistance. Right? Okay. So you just rearrange this and you are getting dV by dt as dV by dt plus V by RC is equal to Vs by RC into ut. dV by dt plus V by RC is equal to Vs by RC into ut. Okay. So you rearrange these terms, you rewrite these terms, that is dV by dt is minus V minus Vs by RC into by RC. And if you just rearrange this term, you will get this expression that we discussed in the lab class last day. See, you are integrating this. This is ln V by Vs minus T by RC. So if you go through this integration, so you will finally get the voltage across the capacitance is Vs. Voltage source has been added plus V0 minus Vs into e to the power minus T by tau. Vs plus V0 minus Vs e to the power minus T by tau. Now, if the capacitor is not having any initial voltage of V0, then you are getting the expression as V equals to Vs into 1 minus e to the power minus T by tau into ut. If the capacitor is uncharged initially. And if the capacitor is charged initially, then you are having this expression. Okay. এটা কি রিপিট করতে হবে? Should I repeat this? Should I repeat this? Or is this okay? Clear? Forced response ঠিক আছে? If force is the forced response, okay, so this is your steady state part. What I said, steady state means you are having, what is steady state? That is a fixed voltage or a fixed value that is not dependent upon the time, and this part is the transient state. So when I am talking about a forced response, this is steady state and transient state. I am getting two responses. One is steady state response and another is transient state response. Okay, so this is how you get the values of the voltage. Now just see what will be the graph now. What will be the graph now? If you closely look at the graph, let's say this is the supply voltage. So with time, as this is a charging circuit, remind it, this is a charging circuit. You can see it by the expression itself. This is a charging circuit. So when I am talking about a step response or a forced response, I am talking about the charging circuit of a capacitor. When I am talking about a source free circuit, I am talking about a discharging circuit of the capacitor. So when it's a charging circuit, so the voltage is increasing from the initial voltage to the maximum voltage, which is the supply voltage. If you closely look at the curve, the voltage is increasing from V0 till Vs. The voltage is increasing from V0 till Vs. Okay, so as the time constant increases, with time the capacitor will get charged to its maximum value through the supply voltage. Okay, so this is the concept of the charging circuit of a capacitor. We studied about the discharging circuit previously. This is the charging circuit of the capacitor. Okay, is this okay? See, let me know if this is okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I think you have a class of data structure next, and today everybody is present, so I am giving that present to everybody. So we can stop here. I have sent some more problems of network theorem in your Google Classroom. Please try to solve that by next Thursday. And so we will meet tomorrow again. We will complete this forced response part, and we will do some problems from this free and forced response from that Obhijit Chakraborty's book. Okay. Okay then. Thank you. You can leave the meeting now. Yes, you can leave the meeting now. Thank you.